Hello everyone, David Klecker, creator of AutoHARP3, and time to show you the expansion pack for College of Magics. Same idea, if you bought the expansion pack and this is the only one that you have, it'll work just fine. All we are really doing is we are just adding information to Harp Fantasy by simply adding in another folder for a database, for some database information. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that application to install. Just click on I agree. Make sure that it's going into the exact same destination folder that you installed AutoHARP3. It's going to be a very fast install. And let's go ahead and open this up. Now, what I'm showing you now is AutoHARP3 with martial law and College of Magics installed. The biggest thing that we're going to have is blood magic. And so let's go ahead and let me open up a character sheet that I'd like to add some blood magic to. And I think I'm going to do that with Akira. Let me just open him up. And how does this work? Blood magic is something that is added to creatures to have innate magical abilities. So it's going to be a blood magic ability that is achieved through adding in the active blood magic talent during a new level. So if I'm going to be updating Akira with any sort of blood magic, I need to add level. So let's go ahead and add that level to Akira. Let's just skip the stats screen for now. And let's go to this talent active blood magic. It's going to be located near the top because as this is sorted in alpha order, but it might be pushed on if you got other books installed in there. This could be, near the top, but maybe pushed down a little bit. If I click on it, I'm going to get a whole window that allows me to select a sphere and some spells, and a spell, and start making my blood magic spell. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all spells, and I'm going to go ahead and just select Acid Bolt as an example. It tells me that it's going to take 5 power points, which means that it'll take me 10 development points for this talent. If there is a duration, but this is an elemental spell attack, so I'm not going to do a duration for that. It just casts, it gets fired, and it's a missile attack, and then it's done. It does have a range of 100 feet, no resistance. It either hits you or it doesn't. It is an elemental spell type. It will have a critical type of acid, and then it has an attack type of tiny. Now, I might want to add in some scaling options, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to add in 2 scaling options for increased elemental attack potency. That's going to add my attack size to be a medium, not a tiny. And I'm going to go ahead and increase range 2 times so that instead of it being 100 feet, it is 200 feet. This is going to tell me that it's going to cost me 22 development points to make this happen. And if I accept that, then I'm going to go ahead and save changes. It does say tiny external poison critical potency, but I'm just going to go ahead and change that external poison to just say acid. I made that change and I explained that change in my martial law tutorial. Let's go ahead and save changes. And if I want to edit that blood magic at any time, I can just click on this badge button here and go ahead and make any changes that I would like to make. It's taken out the 22 development points, so I'm left with 28. I can go ahead and add anything else that I want, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to my next screen. Just quickly, I'll add a bounty hunter talent training package. Just added those 2 talent ranks there, or training package ranks there. And I'm just going to skip the next screen. I'm just going to eat those development points, just so I can show you how the blood magic skill works. So we should have that talent listed right here. So if we go into manage talents and I click on active blood magic here, it's going to give me the description of the talent, and it's also going to give me that the blood magic spell has been attached, and it's going to give me that information that I'm going to cast. The spell, or the scaling options have already been applied, so I have a range of 200 feet, and I'm going to be using an attack size of medium. It also uses a skill. Let's look at that skill for just a second. Go back to screen, and let's go into view all screens. View all skills. And let's look inside. I believe the skill is located inside of general, and it's located under use blood magic ability. And there it is. There's my blood magic acid bolt skill. It has no ranks, so if I were to go do another level and put in a few ranks to this, I can put in, let's say, like 4 ranks, maybe when I add a new level. That allows me to cast this at a 31 attack. So if I was in combat and I did a cast spell, this will show up, and I will be able to use this as an attack against a foe. and it will have an OB of 31. And it will not be something that you cast. It will be something that just happens. It'll be like an attack. You just roll on the attack and it happens because, again, it's a blood magic. It's an innate ability. Now, not all blood magic is going to use skills. In fact, the only blood magic spells that use skills are going to be the elemental attacks and the spell attacks themselves, so something that would use an RR. And those are also going to come up under combat. It'll be the same as if you were selecting a spell that was an attack spell or a spell that was an elemental attack. Except in the case of combat, in the case that it's a blood magic, it happens. You will roll that attack, or you will roll that. It'll say it's casted as successful, and it will then give an RR. And that R is going to be based off of what you rolled, adding to the skill of that blood magic. And so then that's going to be the roll that they're going to have to pass in order to not have that magic spell be affected. So blood magic works from the talent. You need to make sure that you rank up the skill if a skill exists. If not, then the active blood magic talent will describe what the spell is, and you can use that, I guess, according to the GM stipulation about how it works. But when it comes to using the skill, especially if it comes to attack spells, those are always going to be something that you can select under the combat settings. What else is part of College of Magics are the high magic spells. So let me go ahead and show you what those look like. Let's just close this out, go back to main screen. So if I go into Magic and go ahead and select Manage Spells, and if I go into Add Spell, you'll see that I am now able to select High Magic. And I can select any of these spells and I can go ahead and add them to my character sheet. Another thing that you'll notice is that I have Acid Bolt listed here as a spell that I can use, and it tells you that it is blood magic, and it tells you that it does in fact use a skill. There's really no reason for me to rank up the spell itself, so it's always going to say rank of 0 because I'm going to be ranking up the skill, not the spell. There are other spell lists that have been added, mostly due to the fact that with College of Magics we now have new professions that have come with this. We also have the clerical spheres that come with College of Magics as well. So if I go back to main screen for just a second, let me go ahead and just create a new character sheet and show you some of these things. So let me go ahead and just do a test for a second. I will select my social class because, again, I've got martial law installed. It's the same races. Nothing has been added as races are concerned. New talents have been added, but new professions have been added. So I have an elementalist, I have a necromancer, I have a thaumaturge, I have the magician, and the vivomancer. A big thing has been added to clerics where I can add a circle, a cleric circle if I want to. So I can go ahead and select Lightbringer, and it will automatically select some favorite categories for me that I usually had to use choices for. And if I select this profession and go to select configure sphere, all of my spells have actually already been added for me. And all of them, interestingly enough, are located inside of my cleric spell. Beyond that, that is basically all that you're going to notice that is new. No new cultures, but again, we have our new skills that will show up with you ranking up profession ranks and adolescent ranks. There are going to be some new training packages. There will be some new talents. So don't forget about those. Also, let's go back to the Magic tab as well to show you that there are in fact new settings. So in addition to casting penalty, power point adder, and spell adder, we now have mana sources, focus items, and focus styles. To add in a mana source, just click on one of these options and it will add it automatically here. If you want to add more than one, go ahead and do that. Just click on another one and it will add it here. These are the mana sources that you are using, and these are the mana sources that you have available to you. If you don't want it to be here, just go ahead and click on it and it will just disappear. So that's how you add in information for your mana sources. Same thing with focus items. So for example, if it's a personal, and for mana source, if it's a, let's say, a ring for a focus item, and for focus styles, it's gestural and verbal. I'm going to go ahead and save changes, and that information will be placed here in addition to any modifiers if anything happens to, let's say, your voice or anything happens to your hands. The biggest, and the other biggest thing besides blood magic is the ability to create a spell. And this is could look a little complicated at first, but I think that after creating a few of these, you're going to get the hang of it pretty quick. Let's go ahead and just run through an example. For example, Great Leaps. I don't know what the PowerPoint cost is. The program is actually going to calculate that for me. I don't know what sphere to put this in, but I think for now I'm just going to go ahead and put this under Universal. Action aspects, you can select as many of these as are applicable, but if you don't know what they are, just go ahead and click on Show Action Aspects Descriptions, and you'll get all of the information about which action aspects are. And you click on whichever one is going to apply to your spell. And if I looked at these correctly, I believe the one that applies the most here is going to be Enhance. Same thing with object aspects. If you don't know what they are, just click on this button and you will get a window that shows you all of the object aspects and a description of each one. Just read it until you find the object aspect or multiple object aspects that apply to your spell. For me, I do believe it's body. If you want to add multiple, just go ahead and select Control on your keyboard and click on another one, and that will add in multiples. Select it again to deselect. What is my spell type? If this is a leap, then it's utility. It's not being attacked on anybody. If it's a resistance, I don't think I need a resistance, so I'm not going to select one. Casting time, this is going to be an instantaneous one. I want this to happen immediately. Range, this is something that's going to happen to me, so I'm going to do personal. Area of effect, again, individual, but you can select any of these. Duration, it's instant, it happens once, or maybe it can happen concentration, or maybe it happens after 2 rounds. Okay, so spell duration, I'm also going to say that is instant, but again, it's entirely up to you. If you want it to be 2 rounds, 5 rounds, I'm just going to say instant for that. Spell duration is going to be per ranks. It's not really something that I want to set up per rank, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that blank. And duration, concentration, it's not a concentration spell per se, but I can always go ahead and update this if I want to create some scaling options. And so now I'm going to go ahead and put a spell description. Allows caster to leap, we'll say 50 feet horizontally and 25 feet vertically. Again, entirely up to you how you want to create the spell. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on Calculate PP Cost. It's going to take all of this information and give me a cost that is a base cost, and there it is. And now after I'm done with this, I can go ahead and add in some scaling options, and these can be whatever scaling options you want. For example, you might want to say Enhance Leaps. So this will add plus, we'll say 20 feet horizontally, and plus, we'll say 15 feet vertically, whatever. And that can be whatever we think it is. I mean, if you don't know, we can go ahead and select category. This is a kind of a miscellaneous thing, so we can go ahead and select that. And I believe down here at the close to the bottom, it was something about, let's see, supernatural involving movement, base speed 15 per round or 5 miles an hour. You increase speed per extra 5 miles an hour or 15 feet per round. 2 PowerPoints. So I could go up here and I can just, I can say that this is plus 15 and plus 10. Maybe make it a little bit more fair and have that be my scaling option PowerPoint for that particular scaling option. To add it when you're done, just click on Add Scaling Option. It's going to go ahead and add it down here. It did not close the canvas here because you can go ahead and just add in more options as you see fit. So now that I've added in my scaling options, now that I've got my create spell basically created and everything seems like that is fine, if I'm okay with it, then what I can go ahead is I can go ahead and click on Save Spell. And what that's going to do is it's going to save that spell to my character sheet, and it's going to list it here as Great Leaps. This does not save it to the database. It only saves it to my character sheet. If you want to save this to the database, you can always go ahead and just use Architect if you think that this is working. You can always use this as a means of, experimenting with a spell. I want to see if the spell works. I'm going to add it to this character sheet, and if it works, I'm going to go ahead and add it via Architect and just add in all that information there. I can look at this spell easily by just clicking on this, expanding it, looking at the scaling options, expanding that, adding whatever scaling option I want. And there it is. It's instantaneous, so it's got the star that's right next to it. I can go ahead and edit it as well. And if I go back to main screen, and if I go into the skills, I should also be able to rank this. So let's go ahead and check this out under Mystical Arts. Lots of skills that it has to load. Mystical Arts. Let's go ahead and go into spell casting, and let's go ahead and check out my universal, and there it is, Great Leaps. I'm allowed to rank it up. And that's it for College of Magics. If I forgot anything, if there's any questions that you have, please go ahead and leave me comments below. Again, thank you so much for purchasing AutoHARP 3, and happy gaming.